we're going.
Okay, so now we're going to do what's called the LoHan patting series. LoHan patting series is going to be a series of moves that you deliver on yourself, and this is right after you're done with your personal Qigong exercises. You develop some blood circulation, some heat, some basic energy that you feel you want to disperse through the body, or maybe you're trying this out for your personal health. But we're going to go ahead and start that exercise. First one is a slide, and it dominantly comes out off the arm, that's the way the circulation goes, and back up the back of the neck. So I'm just going to go softly. And the idea is to let my hand mold and move easily around the body and up and back. And in China, they use a different word. It's Chinese that I can't tell you. I don't know it. But I can tell you that we call this wiping. A nice, easy wipe. Releasing outer tension, moving the heat around. And so I'm going to come over to this hand and come up and back. And just work my way around, up and back. There we go. And this one, and up and back. And across. Now after wiping, then I'm going to go ahead and start doing a move called compressions. Compression is a soft move using your whole arm if possible. I'm going to go ahead and compress the hand, kind of like a squeeze. Usually it's done off the arm. You can turn the hand around and go the other way. Coming back up, squeezing top of the shoulder. On the other side here, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze, press, and then squeeze. Off the whole thumb, back of the hand outside here. LoHan was a Buddha in training, so to say, at the temples, doing these different exercises for health and self-preservation. These exercises are part of TCM medicine. TCM medicine we might know as acupuncture over here, although I don't have to use needles to get the good special effects. Yeah, I'm going to apply that more on other parts of the body, so I'm going to travel to my leg right now and do a movement that goes around and down the outside. Down, up, and down the outside. Up, and down the outside. Other leg going to come up and down the outside. This goes with the flow of nervous system and blood circulation, and will show up in your body treatment program. And one more time. Cool. All right, you know, something we haven't done on the lower part yet is do the squeezing. So I'm going to say that this is depending on how flexible you are and how easy it is for you to squeeze and press, just kind of work your way down and back up the leg on the inside here. And down the outside if you can get down there. The bottom. Wiping again to sedate that and relax that, and then the other side. kind of start working back and forth here. Around here and down the outside. And around, back up. And down the outside. So I've done a wipe, basically a compress and a squeeze. 3 different manipulations that are joined together. Wipe, press, squeeze, press, squeeze. Just to demo that again. Wipe, press, squeeze. On the face, we want to be very kind and just wipe. So this is a circle wipe. Eyes, face, head, face, head. Now, joined into the moves are some acupuncture points, so we're going to use our fingers for pressure. And you can start at different points. I'm just going to take you on a journey here. The first point is heart number 7. I'm just going to do a little press and rub. That's right here at the base of this palm by the line of the little finger. Heart 7. And in the center here is Pericardium Point, that's often called LoHan, right in the center here. Up in this here is lung number 10. A little press and rub for a few seconds, and on this side is large intestine number 4. Okay, so heart 7 having to do with the mind. LoHan having to do with the spirit and how we feel each day. Lung 10 having to do with trauma, breathing, tension, and thumb problems. Li4 and the web of the hand here having to do with headaches, upper neck and back aches. About the width of your client's palm up is pericardium number 6. This is very good for the covering of the heart and helping a person who's frantic to relax. As always, if a person's got some problems and they need 911 or they need medical care, they should get that first. And this helps to support, aid, and relax the person second. Okay, over here, I'm going to show you a point that's halfway between the outside finger and the edge of the palm. On the outside, this is small intestine number 3. And oddly enough, this point helps relieve neck problems. This point helps relieve neck problems. So I'm going to go ahead and just work it here a little bit. Get some cracking and loosening up of the neck there with that. You can still squeeze and rub now, even though we're doing the acupoints. On the outside here of the tendon is large intestine number 11. And this point is good for tennis elbow. Straight up where the deltoid attaches around the side here, this is large intestine number 14. This is good for shoulder problems. I'm going to bring my arm open here and across here to the outside tendon in the crease here, this is lung number 5, which is good for the lungs, for breathing and asthma relief. Down here where the muscle turns into a tendon, you can see where the muscle comes around here. This is lung number 7, which is good for grief and lung problems. Lack of breathing, different things like that. Walking my way up here, lung number 1 is in the crease. This is a self-exercise, and this is good for easier breath and relief of asthma. Over the top, halfway down, meaning here over the top, a gallbladder 21, GP 21. Most of these you can find on Google. If you Google them, they'll show you the exact spots. So the number 21 here is good for specific shoulder, rotator cuff problems. And we're going to travel over to the other arm and try those again. So on this side, I may wind up doing them in a different sequence, but on this side we have, in the center here, we have the pericardium called LoHan. Over here on the small tendon here, we have heart number 7. In the soft fleshy part, we have lung number 10. And over here we have, in the crease here, web of the hand, we have Li4. On the outside here, a particularly good point on the outside of this tendon, between these 2 points here, small intestine 3, very good for the other side of the neck. And these usually need about 30 seconds to 3 minutes of rubbing. Now, you don't have to watch the clock exactly, just give yourself some time and some feeling on this. Okay, at this point I'm going to turn over. I'm going to do number 7 again, just to see where that is, and then about the width of my hand up, pericardium number 6. Up here in the outside tendon, lung number 5. And down here where this belly turns into a tendon, lung number 7. The outside here, this tendon, and the outside crease here is Li11. Outside tendon attachment here on the deltoid is number 14. Okay, so I might do a different order than I did on the other arm, but I'm going to show you this right now. On this outside crease here, this is heart number 7. In the center here is, I call LoHan, it's a pericardium point. Up here in the soft fleshy part is lung number 10. Turned over is large intestine number 4. Number 4. On the outside of the hand, between the front and the back here, this outside tendon is very good for relieving neck problems. Of course, as my dad said, this hurts more than my neck, so I wonder if it really helps. So I say, yeah, it does. History says so, but sometimes if your neck is painful, this can be very tender. So go ahead and work that a while till it'll anesthetize. It helps bring nervous system relief, and your autonomic nervous system brings in hormones that have to do with relaxing. And on the other side here, we're going to come back and travel up to this outside flexor tendon here. This is lung number 7. And up here into the groove here is lung number 5. Okay, and then walking my way around here is large intestine 11. Oh, that's pretty tender. Tennis elbow, specifically outside tendon movement. Up the outside here on the bottom of the deltoid is number 14, large intestine. In the crease here is lung number 1. Good for relief of asthma. Anybody else here? over the top here between the front and back is gallbladder 21. This point is specifically for shoulder rotator cuff problems. Now, anytime you feel done with the moves on the arm, you can do more wiping. You can do more squeezing and rubbing, as I'm demonstrating, to blend the energies of the nervous system and the blood together. Okay, at this point here, I'm going to take and again do the soft working as I was sharing with you. Now, to do closure on the hand part, a lot of times they just rub between each point. These are blood points in here. Let me tell you, when I'm in China, the Chinese mosquitoes know the blood points. They almost always target the acupuncture points because they're blood points. Oh. So for us, though, it's for relieving pain, relieving congestion of the hands and the body. Headaches, neck ache, back aches can be relieved by rubbing between each point and squeezing off each finger. Okay. Let's move our way around the legs, and we're going to go ahead and start on that. Okay, so we've been doing some long moves and some squeezing moves on the trunk of the body, and I'm going to go ahead and do the acupuncture points on them now that we'll be working with. Right below the belly button, roughly about 2 fingers of your client, there's what's called CV6. This helps relieve digestion, constipation. This is very good for low back pain, which we're going to relate to in a sciatic way. But right now, we're just going to take and relax this area. We're going to come up to the sternum, the center of the sternum for CV17, for relieving congestion of the lungs, and breathing, increasing breathing, 17 CV. At this point, I'd like to take and move to the legs, so I'm going to move over to my leg here. And you can do it in a different sequence, but I'm going to come up to liver number 3, which is basically right here in the web. Liver number 3, very good for sciatic problems. Kidney number 4 in the ankle, good for low back. The client's palm width above the ankle, this part here is spleen number 6, right in the center there. This is good for anything that ails you. It's a very powerful point in acupuncture. Coming up to below the knee, just to the outside, below the bone here, into the soft point. This point here is ST36 for indigestion, headaches, neck aches, shoulder pain. On the inside of the knee, just below into the calf here. Oh, that's painful. The spleen number 9, this is very much for knee problems and hip problems. Just to the bottom of the bone and the soft of the calf. You'll know it because it's the painful spot if the client needs it. Okay, and then sawing on the knees a little bit and rubbing the bottom. Again, sawing on the knees a little bit, just soft temperature from the friction, and rubbing on the bottom. This is often called the dragon eyes. It's 2 soft indentations around the knee. At this point, coming up into the hip, I'm going to go ahead and show you on the side here on the side of the hip, just to the back and into the muscle wall of the femur, there's a gallbladder 30. It's a really important point because it hurts so much. They use it a lot, working it a lot in Chinese medicine. Okay. We're going to move to the back. At the top of the hip plates here, ilium, there's 3 points there along the spine. They're bladder 23, 24, 25. This is for sciatic. We're going to work between those low vertebrae. And you get some rubbing going on yourself. Remember, we're doing the LoHan padding system where you're working on yourself. Okay, at this point I'll show you some close-up on the other leg. We might be creating it into a
Good, we've got 4 minutes left, so.
Okay, we're going to calmly, quickly go through this other side. I might create a different sequence, we'll do the same moves. So I'll do kidney number 4 in the soft instep. This is for low back. Between the big toe and the next one, up here on the bone, is liver number 3. Excellent move for relieving sciatic. You know, one I forgot on the other leg, but it's kidney. I'll show you right here, around the pad here. Kidney number 1. Okay, and you do that on both legs when you're treating yourself. And after the kidney here, we're coming up above the ankle, and we're going to look at spleen number 6, a very powerful move. You can rub it, squeeze it, push it. Coming up here further into the soft instep below the bone is spleen number 9. I can vouch for that being painful. The outside here, just below the knee, is ST36. Again, these can be found in the Googling pretty good nowadays. ST36 is an excellent move. Around the kneecap, a little bit of sawing, and then the 2 soft spots below the kneecap. At this point, when I'm coming up to the center, I move my way to the outside, and right behind the hip, down in the femur, is GB30, a real tender spot. And that's all for now. Thank you very much.